This is DJ Rasta Root, Atlanta, Georgia resident. Smoking Shells, Phife Dawg Forever, A Tribe Called Quest, and of course, Roots Remade It. Well, technically, I'm originally from the west coast of Canada, British Columbia. I've lived in Brazil, Guatemala, Spain, England, Holland, Abu Dhabi, and Japan. My musical roots really started when I lived in Japan. I was teaching English, and then I was DJing on the weekends. Once that was done, I moved to Atlanta and ended up really trying to get into the DJ scene. And I met Randall Moore, who was on 88.5, which is Georgia State's radio. And that was my first introduction to radio in Atlanta. And then from there, I just really went hard, just building my name in the city. Phife moved to Atlanta in 1992, and I met him in 1998, formally. He had a show at University of Maryland College Park, and he needed a DJ, so that's where it kind of all began for us. So Phife, he transitioned in 2016, but I always had a relationship with Serato. On the Serato vinyl, I produced Dear Dilla, and executive produced Nutshell. It was important to do a reprise for Dear Dilla, more so out of necessity. When we were going through album tracks and clearances, I had literally probably sampled more than I ever sampled in my life to get Dear Dilla the way it was. We were originally gonna scrap the whole song and originally just not put it on the album, and I said, well, wait a minute, maybe I can strip it down and maybe we can rebuild the song with no samples in it. As far as like dropping an idea down, Serato Studio is perfect for me for that. Everything's at my fingertips when I need it. Not only because I use it on my own music, but also teaching it. At every university, you have to kind of be quick on your feet to answer your students' questions, so I've had to kind of do a little deeper dive to have those answers at my disposal. But I feel like it's ease of use is what makes it most attractive to me. I get inspiration definitely from sounds I hear out and about, but there are just certain sounds that just, when you hear it, you just know. And Phife always said that when he hears a beat and he likes it and he knows, he feels it in his soul. Phife's musical choices linked in with my musical choices because we kind of come from the same era of music for sure. You know, where he was the artist, I was the fan, like definitely a Tribe fan. And as a DJ or producer, the music you put out, it means something, not just the commercial success or, you know, the accolades you may gain from that, but you're gonna touch somebody's soul. Particularly with Phife's album Forever, I didn't know what the reaction was gonna be. This quote here has actually taken me through like the process, the grueling process of creating this album and the ups and downs of creating a posthumous album. I just realized that he was saying that we were on our way to making, not that we had made it, but the plan's in place, the pieces are in place, now we can execute it. So his words kind of resonated in my brain and are like kind of tattooed in my brain, you know, for sure. We got Q-Tip on it as a feature. What you hear at the beginning of the song where he's talking is a voice note to me asking me what I wanted on the song.
Yo, what up, man? Yo, what chorus you want me to do? You said you want me to do a chorus? Which one? On which song?
I thought for the Dear Dilla beat, being that the song is about life, you know what I mean? Phife's life now, and of course at the time J Dilla's life, that the main like rhythm of the drum would be that of a heartbeat, like a but every once in a while it would have like an occasional like skip of a beat or not be as rhythmic. And that would show you like how inconsistent life is and that it's kind of fickle in a way. And so if I play that with everything else I added, you end up coming up with this right here. If you notice that the hi-hat I use is very sparse and it comes in every once in a while and it is sloppy. And I think that was like a subconscious tribute to J Dilla and how he laid his drums. And I wanted to kind of keep the essence of his drum programming as well as Phife's flow and put those two things together. So as I usually do when I get a new pack or download a couple of packs, I usually just kind of scour through them and see if anything kind of catches my ear right off top. I downloaded the Loopmasters pack and we stumbled upon this part right here. I didn't feel like I needed to chop the sample. It was actually perfect for what I was looking for. The amount of bars that the loop was perfect. It had enough change in it that I felt like it wouldn't be redundant when I dropped it on the beat. crazy because when I decided to use this sample, I always wondered who had made the sample, who had made the loop, and I had so many questions about what the inspiration was for that. When the album came out, I found out who that was. It's a gentleman by the name of L Train from Manchester in the UK. I know it's late there now, but I feel like if I hit him up on Zoom, he might pick up. Let's see. Hey man, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Good, man. I'm really glad we were able to connect on here and kind of talk about the track for a little bit. You know, it's funny when I first picked the loop in my head when I submitted it to the label, I was like, someone's gonna hear this and know who actually performed the loop, and I didn't know when it was gonna happen or how, but it definitely popped in my head. So tell me about the track. I want to know like what inspired you to come up with that loop.
Yeah, so first thing, what's crazy is I think it's the first time I've ever heard any of my loops in any track before, and also that was the first sample pack I've ever put out as well, which is crazy. Basically, so it was a track. I think it started off as like a remix I was doing for a track, and there was this part, the part that you use, which there's like strings and there's like an arp which is like rising up, and I love that bit, but everything else I hated. So I thought, okay, let's just bounce this out and use this, keep this. Maybe I'll use it for something else. But I ended up putting it in the pack, and yeah, somehow you heard it.
Got it. So what was your original like thought or like reaction when you first heard it?
So I didn't realize the album was coming out that week, and a friend posted about it, and so I thought, okay, I need to listen to this. Went straight to it. I was listening through, and I got to that track, and I heard when it first came in, I was like, that sounds so familiar to me. It took me a while to figure out, hold on, that sounds like something that I did a while ago. And then I went back and looked in the old pack, and I was like, oh yes, it is that loop. And like, I love Tribe, I love Dilla. I was going to say I've got like these two books that I actually bought this week. So it's the Tribe Called Quest book, the new Dilla book, which I bought this week, which is crazy. And yes, so it's just crazy to hear it for sure.
The crazy thing about this whole kind of like collaboration, if you will, is that my whole theme for the past couple of years has been collaboration. And
Okay.
I just found it so interesting that without even knowing I was collaborating with you, I was, And that's why when
Yeah.
we spoke about it, I was like, I want to make sure I credit you right on the album because I feel like you're a part of the song. And I would be remiss if I did not do that.
Yeah, no, honestly, you don't understand how much I appreciate it. Like when you said you were like, oh, I'm going to put you in the credits for the vinyl, I was like, okay, this is why I make music, for moments like that.
You're absolutely right, man. And I think it's cool that in the vein of not knowing we were doing it, we were collaborating all along. And I think that the spirit of this Fife album and how it's been moving and organically being created, this totally makes sense as one of the pieces of the puzzle.
For sure, yeah. And like I said, yeah, I really appreciate it on my end as well.
No, for sure, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. And we're going to be connected via Instagram and email, and I'll start sending some stuff back to you.
Yes, perfect. Lovely to chat, man.
For sure, man. So once I had that, I knew that that was the foundation of the beat, and I could definitely structure the song around that loop. I don't play any instruments, so I typically bring in my friends and other collaborators to help out. For this particular one, I brought in Detox, who is a very talented local Atlanta bass player, and he worked on the first version of Dear Dilla, so I felt it was only right to bring him in for this part too. And we went back and forth on what the bass line needed to sound like. I knew what it needed to sound like, but I couldn't explain it well. So we literally went back and forth on text. So there are definitely pieces of what he sent that I liked, but we really had to talk through this and really kind of figure out what the different parts were. And we finally nailed it. So this is the bass. The whole idea is what I wanted. I wanted it to sound like a live bass, but also have a very like gritty, like low feel to it. And I think we kind of accomplished it with this part. I definitely feel like the track needed like a classic hip hop sound. And one of those sounds that you'll hear in tracks over the years would be a Rhodes or an E piano, electric piano. And so I told V Rich, please add a Rhodes in there or something with a feel that will allow me to kind of fill in those gaps in the track, but also give it that classic, warm, earthy hip-hop feel. I've been working with V-Rich for so long, he kind of knows what I want when I kind of give him 1 or 2 sentences, and he literally just sent me back these pianos. Very simple, but poignant, dramatic, but still laid back, and just gave it that warm feel, and it complemented the Rhodes. So up until this point, I have my drums, I have the main sample, I have the bass line, I have the keys, and I have the Rhodes or E piano. But I'm at the point right now where I'm ready to take it into Pro Tools and really embellish on it. But up until this point, using Studio was really good for me to ideate and come up with the concepts for the song. And so I'll just play the track up until now, and then we'll take it out of Studio. So as I'm playing the beat, I'm listening to it, I'm already thinking about what the panning is going to look like, where the sample is going to dip in and out, where I can cut the bass line, where I can bring things up, and just thinking about Fife's voice on the track. So at this point, I'm ready to export my stems from Serato Studio to Pro Tools. Just click this button here. Make my selections, export the stems, transfer them to my other computer, import those stems, and start working in that DAW. And so now we'll hear what the breakdown sounds like going into the hook to the bridge with the scratches in it.
But yo, don't stress my yo. Word bomb, we got you. Tell by 10 I said what up. Word E right next to you. From NYC to the D. With heavy hearts we miss you. Word God, wish you were here. So until we meet again, just
it's not a day that goes by that I don't think about you. Dear Dilla, I keep my head to the sky, cause I know Fife's there too. Dear Dilla, and when I get there, God willing, your music will move out of space. Dear Dilla, and y'all both left the mark, cause no one takes your place. Dear Dilla,
I'ma tell you D-Town, throw it up.
This is DJ Rasta Root, and we've taken a look into the making of Dear Dilla. I'd like to thank my collaborators, V-Rich, Detox, L-Train. Special shout outs to Q-Tip for the hook. Dear Dilla, fight forever. Peace.
For a while, because we not just those do it and run type of dudes, where we just gonna put anything out. We trying to put out something classic, something you could hear 10 years from now and be like, yo, that's that ish right there, you know what I mean? So we definitely taking our time. Smoking Needles is the label, independently ran by both of us, you know what I mean? So we do it our way. Whether we move slow or whether we move quick, it's on us at the end of the day.